Welcome back to the channel, Amazing Juma Jukes and Priscy fam. So recently, Jukes had an interview and he made some revelations about his marriage that I'm sure most of us did not know about. So as you watch, do well to give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so he was asked several questions. First off, what type of marriage ceremony did you have here in Tanzania? He replied, the Islamic wedding, that's the nikah. Then, and in Nigeria, how did you manage to have Christian marriage? Okay, so he made some revelations. I'm going to be reading. With regards to the official way we tied the knot, it was the nikah. Okay, that's what he said, because she changed her religion to Islam. So Priscy is now a Muslim. Yes, she is now officially known as Hadiza, not Priscy. Her name is Hadiza Kampala. OMG, we know that, right? Currently, I'm educating her on these things slowly. So now that she's a Muslim, she's being educated because the changes cannot be drastic, like starting tomorrow for her to completely change. Looking for books where she could increase her knowledge on things. So he's doing it slowly. Where she comes from, she was a true believer of her faith. Yes, she was a Christian and a believer. But I told her that in the future, so just try to explain things to her, convince her, you may never know. We are going to have a family with the children living in another country. See, I tried to convince her and all she agreed. So we had the nikah ceremony. That was the official marriage ceremony. Even our anniversary will be on the 7th of February. Okay, so Priscy has said this before. After that, we had the civil wedding, the government ceremony, which is very important. That was for official purposes because the plan is for her to live in Tanzania. She needs to get her papers, so they need it for resident permit when she lives in the country. That's really good, so she's now a Tanzanian by marriage. He says, even when I travel, sometimes when we are married, everything changes. Okay, there's a lot of things that are different. Of course, marriage changes a lot, showing that she's officially recognized by the state. So she's officially a Tanzanian and a Muslim. Spiritually and religiously, we had a Muslim wedding. So all the JP boils down to their Muslim wedding. When I went to Nigeria, I proposed to her, but it was just her and I, just the two of us. So I asked her to marry me. Okay, that's the first time he was in Nigeria that we got to see him. Someone said, was this after the formal introduction? I like how, the interviewer was asked the questions. He said, this was when I went to Nigeria in September. That was when we started this JP thing. She didn't believe me when I told her. So when I left, she went back. Okay, so when he went back after seeing her in the end of May, yes, that was after the Rwanda games, they met end of May and beginning of June. That's the first time they met and started the relationship. He said he would marry her, but she didn't believe. So I went to Nigeria in September, but she had to come back to Tanzania in July. Okay, after meeting up with her family after my birthday. So they met end of May, beginning of June. She had to go back to Tanzania in July, and then he went to Nigeria September, that birthday time. So when we came back to Tanzania, right, that's after he proposed to her in Lagos. Because everyone is home, I want to upgrade. So that's the time they had JP 2025, So it was more, he needed to get a better ring because the first one he got was a small ring. He said that. So he said he personally designed the ring. It is custom made. So because of the civil wedding, considering her family was around, okay, he wanted it to be a surprise. We saw that surprise engagement where she rocked beautiful outfit like with him as well, so that everyone could see it. So I could give her the bigger ring as an upgrade. That was when we did the second engagement. So I hope you followed this. Okay, so first he proposed to her, just two of them. Later it was the surprise one. So someone said, how did you pick the ring? Because I believe when a woman is about to get married, they would start talking about it with the likes of their preferences on the dress and the ring. So very well organized questions. Was that how you got the idea, or you had seen the ring prior and you decided that your future wife would wear this specific ring? That's a question they asked him. So he said, let me be honest, Frida. I knew everything when it came to my wedding. Yes, he revealed this. He knew everything. He said, I had a dream about it. Okay. So he had his dream wedding, literally. I used to say to myself that the day the woman I'm going to marry should wear this specific ring. So, intentional man. My wedding is going to be a certain way. He had thought about his wedding before. I want to do this kind of photo shoot. Okay, I knew all the details about my wedding. So he was really into it as well as Priscy. And God helped me. I got a person that is so much like me. Yes, both of them have lots in common. They're quite. Priscy is a public star even before JP, right? So he's a fashion, luxury and everything. And then he said even the ring I liked, and women, the moment they have a huge diamond on their ring. Okay, so it was a diamond ring. We all know that. So when I saw it, even the person who was making it for me, was like, okay, this is a big ring. And I told her that is what I want. So his ring for his wife had been planned. So I want my wife to have a big ring. The moment I spot her, I'm like, that's my wife. So I made that for her. Okay, it's how quick everything just came into place for me, and designed it and finished it. So it's a custom wedding ring that he planned even before marrying her. So the day I went to give it to her, she was like, this is so big. You are now my wife. And that is how it's supposed to be. So I gave it to her. So this was the third event. You see how many events there were? Yes, we know how many events, the nikah, and then the engagement. Then said this was the nikah. The first was nikah, then the civil wedding, then came the second engagement. This was all in Tanzania. Now, ideally, what was the price of the ring? So the people, said to know how much it is, and he said that the jeweler was surprised that this ring is huge. So they asked again, how much was the ring? I already shared this in a video before. He said it was $50,000. Okay, $50,000, and they did some calculations, and asked which is how much in Tanzania shillings, and they revealed that it was 133 million Tanzanian shillings. And in Naira, it's about 75 million Naira. They were all very impressed. So he said, according to the traditions, we had to do the traditional wedding ceremony, yes, which they did in Lagos. That is the wedding when it comes to Nigeria. Okay, yes. So when we were there, okay, you know that her family is still Christian family, even though she's now a Muslim. Her family is Christian, and her mother is a woman who is very deeply rooted in her faith, that's in Christianity. So she said, it's okay, right? That the marriage was already officiated and that, she is now Muslim, but as a parent, as a way of her giving away her daughter, that is Yabojo herself, she wanted to do it as a sign of blessing the marriage. So after the traditional wedding, what they did was bless the marriage. This is why we didn't go to a church. Yes, you remember it was just we did it in an outdoor environment. It was an outdoor event. So she wanted to do it as a form of blessing and asked to bring a pastor so that she can bless the marriage as well, which was not a problem. So I accepted. Okay. So in Nigeria, when the pastor came, it was just a blessing. So he's trying to clarify that it wasn't a Christian marriage, it was a blessing. So the lady asked, okay, but when he was praying, he said some words like, would you take this woman to be your lovely wedded wife? So the interviewer asked this, trying to say, under normal circumstance, we see that at a normal church wedding. I wonder why they were quizzing him this much. Like, would you take? So, and all the other formalities were done the same. So, even though it was outdoor. And Duke said, because we had taken off our rings too, yes, they had to take off their rings before that day, they needed to be blessed and prayed for. So that's Jukes is, very, very clever man. Of course, it's the same procedure. In reality, it's a way of giving your respect to God. So it's a way for Iyabo Ojo to give her respect to God, but then it was not an official Christian wedding. Okay, we did the civil wedding, and on the Christian side, we also got our blessings. We did everything. Was it hard convincing her to be Muslim and to change her religion? These questions are well put together, but very technical. And Jake said, yes, a little bit. Yes, it was difficult convincing her to, change her religion. On the other hand, I was receiving lessons from religious leaders and people who are keen about the religion, so about Islam, who was receiving lessons. So there's a way that they were teaching me with regards to how to convince her. Okay, and he did that pretty fast. Go with her slowly, teach her this and that, tell her this and that. So it took some time. Okay, so I took some time, that's what you said. She later on understood. Wasn't your family surprised seeing the Christian tradition being practiced? This is another question they asked, and they said, especially your mother. He said, no, 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 yes. Why would they be surprised? He had already informed them that this is how it's going to be. He said they knew before. Yes, they knew before. They wouldn't be surprised. But our official marriage is the nikah. Okay, we get it, Jukes. So that was the day we officially got married. That's 7th of February 2025. So I see how, the questions were quite technical, quizzing Jukes about being a Muslim and getting married in a Christian way, but he clarified that it was just a blessing. That's the real wedding is the Muslim wedding. They did that, traditional wedding, of course, and the civil wedding.
Hi everyone.